Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Soul, good morning. Fab Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, Dani. I hope you are well. You know, there's only so many times I can watch them credits and hear myself say good morning in exactly the same way. I have to actually consider switching up the way that I say it, because when you hear it the same way again and again, you realise, like, oh my God, I don't change things up. How are you? Welcome to Monday. I hope you are well. Here we are hurtling into, is this the second week? No, it's the third. Shit the bed. It's the third week of February, you lot. What is that about? Third week in February. Do you know what that means? It's 4 weeks till I move into my house. I don't know if I've told you all or not, but in March, I'm going to be moving into my new house, and I'm so excited. Today, we are kicking off sort of Operation House Move with getting a skip. So those of you that do follow the show will know that one of my favourite things to do, in fact, I teach on this as part of my Overcoming Self-Sabotage programme, Move Big, Get Out the Way, which we are doing a free challenge for next week, by the way. That was like a really nifty sort of segue into what's happening next week in the INTQB Hive. More coming on that in just a few minutes' time. But I'm getting a skip. I'm going to get shut of my shit. I'm so excited to throw away all of the crap that has accumulated in the 10 years that we've been living in this house. If like Wallace is a bit of a hoarder, I'll be perfectly honest with you. He holds on to boxes, cardboard boxes. Does anybody else's other half hold on to things like that? Utterly ridiculous. Holy socks, holy undies, t-shirts he's not worn in the last 10 years. It's all going in the skip this week, you lot. I said to him, I was like, normally he's very reticent often when we get a skip. He doesn't ever believe that we need a skip, but by God, each time we get one, I fill one up, you lot, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm like, you're not even ready for me this week. This is a house move skip. We are going to throw away everything because we're starting with a clean slate. And how often do we get to do that for ourselves? How often do we get to say, actually, here is the line in the sand here. We're going to start again. We've been able to start again. So this weekend has been we've been up to the range, bought some new stuff, got some new bar stools for the island, up a kitchen. It's all very exciting. Pixie, you're the one who holds on to everything in your house. Yeah, well, it's like boxes, empty cardboard boxes, just in case. Just in case what? We'll get another cardboard box. It'll be fine. Morning, wonderful woman. You are joined by one of my favourite people this morning. She's fast becoming one of my favourite people upon the interwebs as well. We've got the pitch this morning. We've got the fantastic Laura Perkes joining us in just a couple of minutes whilst we get the show a little bit jiggy, whilst we gather you here today as we celebrate the third week in February 2021. Good morning, Sandra. I hear you just had the movers around for a taxation. What's a taxation? My family are hoarders. I'm a minimalist. I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist. I don't think it's that, but I'm very much I would rather just throw everything away than tidy it up. I would rather, instead of putting stuff away, put it in the bin. It's terrible and very wasteful, and apologies to anybody, you know, as is mine, concerns over landfill and what have you, but I just love throwing stuff away. Morning, lovely. That's exactly what just happened in our house. 3 skips worth. It feels so cleansing. The whole house feels lighter. This is it. And I think that certainly in the past few months, we've been kind of holding on and making do with stuff. We've been making do. And as a result, we're surrounded by things that we're not really energetically attached to. So there's just stuff, and I'm walking into the living room, and there's like, obviously there's boxes with that new furniture in and stuff, so everything just feels a bit on top of us right now. So I'm really excited about lightening some of that load, because it's bandwidth, isn't it? Even energetically, I know it sounds silly, they say tidy house, tidy mind, but I am absolutely here for that way of thinking. If I think of all of the clutter, you know, the excess clothes that we don't fit into, all of that sort of stuff, we're just going to lighten the load this week, which I'm really excited about. Laura is wonderful. We're going to be bringing her in just a minute or so, just while we're gathering. We've done that 3 skips with. Who is this, by the way? Who are you, Facebook user? Please do give Stream your permission for us to see your name. We discover my hubby hoards things that might be useful one day, and I hoard things with sentimental value. So between us, we had a shitload of stuff we don't need. How interesting. I do this with the girls. So underneath Poppy's bed there is a big box, and in that box is probably every single like actual photograph that I've ever taken that I'm too frightened to throw in the bin in case I forget it. Whereas actually what I should do is take all of those photos and go and get them. There has to be a service somewhere that scans them into somewhere. Rachel saying decluttering allows more abundance to come into your life. Oh, hey, I'm ready for a bit of that. I'm here for a little bit of that. It's Lizzie. Yeah, hi, Liz. Pop, just give Stream your permission for us to see your name, Angel, and then we can see you. Good morning, Susan. Welcome to the show this morning. So we're talking about getting a skip, getting shut of your shit, getting shut of the stuff that is hanging around you, and we're celebrating at the moment. This February feels more like New Year than January felt. Like, I don't know about you, but there is such a buzz about February that I am feeling that I definitely did not feel in January. Who else is feeling this? Can anybody else feel like they're peeping outside of the curtain, this really heavy, thick lead curtain of boredom and of rubbishness? Anyone else feel like they're peeping? I actually run one of those services, scanning for. Well, it just turns out that Dan Jenkinson runs this service. Anyone needs any photos scanning in, you need to get in touch with my homie over here, who is actually going to be a part of the IATQB team, doing some editing and sharing, helping us with our video content and what have you. So that's really exciting. So welcome, Dan Jenkinson, to the IATQB HQ situation. Give him some love, everyone. Go and check him out. His work is phenomenal. Wait till you see what we're going to be sharing over the next few weeks. Very exciting. So he's going to be helping us create content from the show and repurpose stuff, which is what we need to do. We've been missing a trick. Sandra's feeling it. Also, your birthday's in Feb, so a great moment to start a new year. Why not? We get to choose these things. You know, when we talk about the bee quote that I saw from the Bee movie when I started up this business, the bee chooses to fly anyway, regardless of how little the wings are and how fat the body is. The bee didn't get the memo that aerodynamically they shouldn't be able to fly. That's how I feel right now. That's how I feel like you guys are feeling. We're ready to peep around the corner a little bit. Have you all signed up, by the way, you lot, to the Move Be Get Out the Way free challenge that's happening next week? I have got some mega prizes on the table. More info coming into your inbox over the course of this week in the IATQB Hive. If you are not in there already, get yourselves over there. Why are you not in there already? Where we will be sharing our successes, where we will be sharing our challenges, where we cheer each other on, where we ask each other for help, and it is duly received because the bunch of people, the glorious human beings, the sovereign bees that are in there are absolutely glorious. Tracy is signed up. If you do want to get involved with the Move Be Get Out of the Way challenge, which is overcoming self-sabotage, it's getting out of our own way, ready for what is coming this year. As the vaccinations start happening, the world starts to open up again. How do we start getting excited? We need to put ourselves front and center of our businesses. I am thequeenbee.co.uk/Move Be Challenge. More details on my personal profile and more details on the Queen Bee Dani page on Facebook. Kate Davis is running her own challenge next week, but hoping to come and see yours too. Why not? Why not? There are loads of challenges. I know Laura's going to be talking about a challenge that she's starting, kicking off from today. I think that there are so many of us in this community that have got such incredible value to give. We should be showing each other off. We should be supporting each other and also learning from each other as well. What a phenomenal platform that we've got in our little corner of the internet, sharing this space together to be able to share what it is that we need help right now. We need to have a little think about what sort of stuff do we need to be concentrating on. I'm jumping in any excuse to work with you. Oh, Jojo and Kate Davis are both speakers for Be Inspired. We had a big announcement over Be Inspired last week. We are moving it into a TV studio so more of you can access it. Again, keep your eyes on your emails. Right, enough of that from me. Enough of gathering you, my darlings, my angels, my loves. We're going to bring on our guest this morning. We're going to kick off the weekend. I don't even know what day it is now. Come on now. I'm that excited. I can't speak and I don't know what time of the week it is. We're going to kick off the week in style with the right kind of energy. Talking all things publicity, talking all things getting out of your own way in order to get it. We've got the fantastic pitch bitch herself, Laura Perkes. Good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Here she is, resplendent in her faux fur.
You've got a faux fur and a bit of leopard print. Like
I am here for it. I think like leopard print is my actual favourite pattern, one of my favourite patterns to wear. And I'm just thinking now, I can't remember the last time I donned some leopard print. You've inspired me. I'm going to dig out all my leopard print. We're going to, what's her name? Bet Gilroy.
Bet Lynch.
Bet Lynch. Was it Bet Gilroy for a while? She was married to Alec Gilroy, wasn't she? Bet and Alec. Bet Lynch. We're going to Bet Lynch it up this week. Laura Perkes has inspired me. I think we should get a little thread going on with our leopard print. What say you, Laura?
Absolutely. Get involved.
So, Laura, welcome to the show. I am so grateful that you got up and decided that 9:30 was an okay time in the morning to come and join us. We were just joking backstage that the 8 o'clock in the morning probably wasn't the one. No, absolutely not.
It's like when all these people do clubhouse rooms at like 7:30 in the morning, and I'm like, there is only one 7:30 in my day.
Like, are they on glue? I'm sure at some point I will jump on, and apparently the early bird catches the worm. But I'm all right for worms. Thank you very much. I'm quite happy snuggling in my bed, or at least eating pancakes with my kids at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, living the dream.
Oh my goodness me. We had practice pancake day today, Laura, because you've just got to take a run up to pancake day. It's pancake day tomorrow. Right. As a reminder for those of you that didn't know, it is pancake day tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a pancake day special.
Oh, amazing. Do we all get sent pancakes?
Well, I'd love to send you all pancakes, but I am going to do a cook along in the morning.
Oh my God, brilliant.
So, Laura, tell us more about what it is that you do.
So thank you for such an amazing introduction and for bringing the energy every morning. Like, sometimes I really do think that you are like your jumper. You are Superwoman because you bring it every single day and it's incredible. So I am Laura Perkes. I am the founder of boutique PR agency, PR with Perkes. And I'm a bit of a self-confessed pitch bitch because publicity is something that I've done all my life. And It makes me feel so old because when I say, oh, I've been doing it for 16 years, I'm like, babe, that's like, whoa. Yeah, that's like big stuff. That's like half your life you've been spent working in the PR industry and helping incredible business owners and entrepreneurs to really amplify their message on a bigger scale. So really similar to what you do with your clients who are looking to speak on stage, I'm creating a platform for other people to be seen, be heard, share their message, create impact, all that really sexy, juicy stuff that we all want as business owners. So I think I actually love it more now than I did when I first started. So
I think when you first start, you don't know what you love about it. You kind of like it, but you don't know what you love about it. And I think the longer that you spend in the industry that you love, not for the, there are people that get job, work in employment, fall into industries that are not necessarily in love with it. But when you're in love with the industry that you're in, you end up learning more about it that you love, or more about the people that you want to help, because PR publicity is quite broad. There is from big corporate type PR, massive marketing contracts, all the way through to supporting solopreneurs like many of you are out there. when you love what it is that you do, you give yourself the opportunity to fall more in love. The more that you learn about it, the more you learn about the impact, the more you learn about, once you've kind of got your foot in the door, not how easy it is, but how easy it comes when you're in love with what you do, right?
Yeah, totally. And this is one of the biggest kind of myths that I like to bust, especially with like solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. It isn't difficult. It just takes time, and you almost need the code. You need to crack the code to kind of open up the door. So when you're talking about peeking behind the curtain, this is what I want to do today. I want to give people a little insight into the possibilities. So it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to take up too much time. It doesn't have to even be expensive. It is something that you can just add on to your day. And it comes down to relationship building.
Yeah.
And if you know, like with anything, if someone says to you, bake a cake, you can think, okay, I can probably try and wing it, but you're going to get a better result if you follow the exact ingredients and you have the temperature. So,
and even then you can get it really wrong.
Yeah, this is it. I can't tell you how many times.
I am here as living proof that I am definitely not one of life's bakers, goodness me. But like you say, having a set of ingredients to follow, having a recipe list and a method to follow, you're more likely to get a better outcome than it is if you're just fannying around and winging it and just chucking whatever in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like that saying about throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something that sticks. I'm not about that. You know, I'm quite lazy at heart. So if I can do something with the minimal amount of effort required, I'm all for it. And this is what I want to kind of teach other solopreneurs and entrepreneurs as well, is don't just waste time faffing. If you're going to learn to do something, do it properly.
Right.
So this is very much, you don't have to employ a PR agency. You don't have to work with a consultant. You can do it yourself. Mm-hmm. But all I would say is learn how to do it properly, because it can be a head fuck. I'm just going to throw it out there. You can.
You can swear on my show. It's all right. We've got all the fucks and buggers on this show.
So it's almost like I know that it's not the easiest thing to crack, but once you do, oh my god, the buzz, and it's almost like, like with Pringles, they say once you pop, you just can't stop.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's like publicity. Once you see it start to come in, it's like, oh my god, wow. And it is slightly like validation that what you're doing is kind of worthy.
Yeah.
And then you'll realize that people all of a sudden want to start watching you, and they want to follow you, and they may want to collaborate with you, and it just becomes easier. So, if you want to speak on stage, if you've been seen in the press, you're showing the event organizers, look, what I'm saying has an impact. Yeah. And, these editors have backed me. These podcast hosts have had me on. This is my little kind of show reel of what I've done. And this is why you need me at your event or speaking on your show.
Right, absolutely. And I talk about this all the time with my clients about asset stacking. So if anybody goes to go and check me out, and feel free if you haven't already, at the Queen Bee Dani across the socials, but you'll see that I have lots of assets that you can go and have a look at and go and check out that add authority to my expertise. So for example, I've got a couple of books. In fact, I've got 3 now. I've got a few books. I know, ridiculous. In the last 12 months, because I've no better to do with my time. I'm not busy enough. But having things like books in place, having things like your websites in place, having things like merch lines in place, having PR in place. These are all assets that when you show up in the world, add layers to your authority. And PR is an incredible way of doing that, and having press and media that are attached to you are incredible ways of doing that. And I'm very, very, very lucky that over the past 18 months particularly, I've been featured in the press quite a lot, both locally and nationally, and it has paid dividends, absolute dividends in my positioning, in how my courses sell, in how my one-to-ones sell. So all of it has a knock-on effect. So not just from a validation point of view, but also, this girl's taken seriously. People actually print stuff about her. People actually, talk about her in the press. She's part of debates. She's asked questions about particular areas of her expertise. So then again, makes you very, very attractive to a wider range of clients, right?
definitely. Yeah. And it's a really easy way of getting in front of just a bigger volume of people, you know. We're told all the time, grow your audience, you need to speak in front of more people, you need to attract more people in. But if you're not using the tactics available to you to attract that bigger audience, you're going to get stuck, and then you're going to start feeling a certain way. And then that's when the mind monkeys come in and start telling you all this like bullshit stuff about why you're not getting in front of the people you want to. And sometimes it's just a teeny tiny tweak that takes you out of your comfort zone and makes you look at other ways of, amplifying who you are in your message, so that bigger audience can kind of hang out with you. Essentially, that's what we want, isn't it? We want to build a tribe of people who love what we do and want to hang out with us.
Absolutely. Jojo Smith's saying PR Pringle, she fancies a nibble. Stop it, Jojo. Lizzie, hello, Lizzie Jackson Barrett. She is a total PR junkie. It's done so much for her business and for her personally as well. Knowing this, if anyone doesn't follow Lizzie Jackson Barrett already, please do. And her book is phenomenal as well. Again, Lizzie's one of those great examples of people who use press for leverage, who use assets for leverage. Like I say, her book is phenomenal and is a wide bestseller. But it is using your story in order to. It's like when I talk about your story becoming someone else's survival guide. When you have a story, and everybody does, because I want to talk about that this morning, Laura, is people might be sat there going, well, I've not really got anything. I'm not very PRable. I'm not. Who's going to write about me? What do you say to those people?
Well, I tell them it's utter BS.
It's bollocks, you lot. It's bollocks.
Big bollocks. And I think as well, because we are so closely linked to what we do, we forget all the stuff that we've been through, and sometimes it's feeling comfortable being vulnerable and letting down that guard and saying to other people, look, this is what I've been through. And most of the people who I see sharing their story have gone through that vulnerability work, the self-development work it takes to share the story, and know that it's for a bigger reason, because it then speaks to the people who need to hear it. And I know with what's happened to you in the past, I know what's happened to Lizzie in the past, your goal is to help other people go through that situation. It's almost saying, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I've been through it, and this is what I did to get through the other side. And if I can do it, you can as well. And I think, especially during lockdown, physical connection has just been taken away from us. You know, the carpet's been ripped from under our feet.
Oh, girl, and I'm a hugger. Like I am so depleted in hugs at the minute. Like my kids are finding it really awkward now, so I'm just like hugging them all the time. Like, Mum, get off me! Like, what are you doing?
But so I think in a way it's probably easier to share online, because online's pretty faceless. You're not having to stare in the eyeballs of someone and kind of bare your soul to them. But there is. And, mindset stuff comes up all the time. And I think a lot of the time we hold ourselves back because we're so concerned about what other people may think. And this is something you talk about all the time. Like, this is intrinsically linked to what you do and why you exist. It's almost whatever it is that's getting in your way, we need to work a way around it, through it, over it, under it, whatever happens, because people need to see the vulnerability and feel it to be attracted to you. And they don't even need to become customers or clients. They can just know that they have an ally in you, and that you're there as kind of like, you're like the guide. You've got the torchlight, you're showing them along the path, and just being there, holding space for them to say, look, I get it, let's go through this together.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, Laura, what brought you to this work? So you've been working in the industry now for 16 years, and I did the same the other day. I was talking to somebody. In fact, you put post out like, what would you walk on stage to?
Yes.
And loads of people were putting on there like, what song? In fact, if you're watching this morning, me and Laura would love to know, if you're walking out on stage, if you're a speaker or someone's bigging you up, what song would you walk out to? For me, Macklemore, Can't Hold Us. There's a specific bit in the song, and it talks about the ceiling not being able to hold us, and that's what I feel about the IATQB community. Like, the ceiling cannot hold us. Like, we are flying, and loads of people putting all different songs on, like Greatest Showman, This Is Me, all sorts of stuff. And you'd said, what was how did you feel singing versus speaking, walking out? Was the buzz different? And I was like, well, yeah, the buzz is different, because I like to sing. Don't get me wrong, I miss singing terribly, but when I'm speaking, I'm me. So I get to I'm sharing me when I'm on stage, and I always find that much more exhilarating. It's much more scary. It's much more of a roller coaster for me speaking than it is singing. So like, I don't need to go to a theme park. I just need to get on stage. And then I said, I've been walking out on stage for over 20 years. Oh my God. Anyway, that's an aside. Over 20 years, with over 2 decades stage experience. She's old.
You've been practicing your X Factor, like, haven't you?
God. Laura, what brought you to this industry? What brought you to PR work?
Well, if I go back, like when I was at school, I wasn't particularly academic. I wasn't one of these like studious kids, and in fact, school reports would always say, if Laura spent as much time on her studies as socialising, she'd be a grade A student. And it's like, yeah, it's not me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So when it came to choosing a university, I really didn't know what to do. And back then, I wanted to be a radio presenter. I loved the thought of having a show, bringing the energy for like 2 hours, talking to people, playing music. I was like, yes, this is living the dream. And I went to, I think it was Manchester University for an open day. And they showed us the recording studio. And I was like, shit. Literally the room was like wall to ceiling knobs. Like buttons.
I've been in other rooms where there is wall to ceiling knobs. I walked straight out again.
Different kind of knobs though, yeah. So I just freaked out, and it was very much like, oh, to get ahead in radio, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And I was just like, this is not me. No. So I kind of went home and I was like, I don't know what to do.
Back to the drawing board now.
Yeah. So my mum, bless her, like, what is it about mums that they always know best? Annoying.
I feel that now. I definitely know best now for my kids.
Of course, yes. So my mum said, look, you love communicating, you love talking, you're really good at asking questions. Why don't you look at some form of communications degree? So I'm literally going to like Dr. Google, like typing in communications degree. And public relations came up, and I was like, yeah, could probably go for that.
That could be a thing.
So I probably stumbled into it. And then after my degree, I worked for different PR agencies, and I was working on some really big names within like hospitality, within health and fitness. But it was coming up to my 30th birthday, and I was like, this just does not light me up anymore. This is a slog. I was driving into London every day to work. My boss just like undervalued, underpaid. Nothing was ever good enough.
Right.
And opportunities kept presenting themselves. And I'm very much one of these people that it's a sign. And I thought, if I don't do this now, I'm going to be stuck here forever. And that can't happen. So, yeah, I just took the leap into setting up on my own. No idea what to expect. Had no clients, didn't have anything. But I literally am my biggest cheerleader. So I know that whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to smash it, because I have me.
Yeah, and if you're backing, if it's the only horse you're going to back, you might as well back on the certainty, because there's only you that puts him and only you that gets out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know I'm an action taker. I know I'm happy to invest to get me to the next level. And I'd say, so back in 2018, I actually rebranded the business. So when I first set out, I was doing PR, I was doing marketing, I was doing social media. And I was just, I was attracting kind of startup businesses who didn't have a huge amount of budget, and they didn't set my soul on fire. But back then I didn't realize how important that was. And yeah, 2018. So we renovated the house, I was getting married, and then I was rebranding the business. And I remember sitting down with the coach who was helping me, and he was like, oh, you're going to take Hayden's surname, aren't you, when you get married? Well, I actually wasn't, because, you know, I'd been Laura Blacklaws for all my life, and journalists knew me as Laura Blacklaws. Right. But I sat there in this meeting and I was like, yeah, of course I am. Yeah. And then I kind of had to have a word with myself and realize that you are not your name.
Right.
Therefore, stop coming from a place of ego, because journalists don't feature your clients because of your name. It's because of the strength of the story. So I was like, right, okay, yeah, we're gonna rebrand. And that's where PR with Perkes came from, because, you know, I was marrying into the Perkes family, and I was just like, oh my God, this is perfect, because
it just works, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, it's cheeky, it's fun, it's bold. You know, you could play on words like the perks of PR. So, and I think, and I hate to say this because I don't mean it from like an anti-feminist point of view, but I think getting married and changing my name was probably one of the biggest kind of turning points in my career, because it allows
that's not anti. That's the thing is, this is not. That's not kind of anti-feminist, and that's okay. It was the interesting thing for me, and probably one of the only perks of the patriarchy, has been for me to change my name. Like my surname Gallagher. It had such strong ties with my dad. I remember my dad saying to me when we were growing up, the line ends with you. You make sure you keep your. And my dad was my dad's a long story. So, but I remember me not being really like bound to my name. In fact, couldn't wait to get married so that I could shed it. Even though I had the choice to choose a name, I couldn't be asked choosing a name. And also, my mum didn't think things through. My first name is Daniela. Right, Daniela. So it's the Italian version of Danielle. So it's got an extra syllable at the end. My surname, my maiden name was Gallagher, Daniela Gallagher. Can you imagine being pissed trying to say your own name, not being able to say it? Absolutely ridiculous. I had to have words with her.
I can imagine.
Like, do you know what you did?
Yep.
Anyway, so I couldn't wait. So when I got married, that was it. I was Wallison. I didn't think twice about it. Whereas, you know, it's not. I don't think it's the anti-feminist thing. I think it's just the choice thing. And I think that if you've got a whole marketing angle you could take from your husband's surname, my God, take it.
I know. I actually had clients say to me, "Are you marrying him for his name?" I was like, "Yeah,
yeah, I am.
Yeah. His name and his money. That's all I'm interested in." But no, and I think that was a turning point, because I'd had some lows, and, you know, I'd had health problems, and my nan died suddenly, and all this stuff that I just stopped. I think for 6 months I literally did nothing.
Right.
And it made me reassess, what do I actually want? What lights me up? What do I love to do? So I think the rebrands, the getting married, it all just opened up a bigger pair of shoes that I then had to claim.
Right.
And I think since then, I know who I want to work with. I know what lights me up. I know, you know, I don't ever wake up in the morning and think, oh God, I've got to go to work today. Like, I live for the work that I do. And it's almost like, how many more incredible people can I have a conversation with today? Right. Even if they don't choose to work with me, who can I get to know? Because, like, connection for me is everything. Communication, energy. It's like, right, who can I infect?
Yes! The best kind of virus.
So, yeah. And I mean, to be honest, now, you know, the clients that I attract and the clients that I want to work for are mainly female entrepreneurs. I think because there's just that connection piece of knowing what we all have to go through. People who have a big vision and they aren't afraid to go after it, and are motivated to do what needs to be done to get to where they want to be. So some people could, relate to being disruptive. Some are change makers. Some have a big vision, legacy, like all these incredible words I hear all the time. And it just makes me so excited to actually be part of that journey and help someone. Maybe I should be the COVID vaccine, Lizzie. Maybe people just need me.
The world would be a better place.
So I think it's just, I get as much out of my clients as they get out of me, because for most of the time I'm so excited to be on their journey and help them, again, peek back behind the curtain and see what is absolutely possible if they look at things differently. Because, we're all told the same stuff. We're all told we need to be posting across social media. We need to grow an email list. We need to go live. And it's all great. But it's almost as if someone's forgotten to tell us why and what is the end goal. And this is what I tend to do a lot with my clients as well, is rock the boat. And I'm not afraid to challenge people on their beliefs, because I'm all for the nitty gritty. Like, I need to know absolutely everything about my clients so that I can serve them in the best way possible. And whether that's working done for you, whether that's walking them through a group training program, it's just meeting people where they are, and then walking that path with them and being there when those light bulb moments start happening.
What has been like one of your favorite client wins? Like when you've worked with, there are so many, like for me in the past like 12 months, like the Big Festoon was a massive big like PR. It was the book launch, all of these things. Be Inspired will be another one. What for you has been like when you've been working with someone and you've created something, you've gone, whoa, yeah, it's a proper good one, that.
Do you know what? It varies so much, because each of my clients are really different. So I've got a client now who's actually working on a summit at the end of March. It's called the Women Thrive Summit, and it's very much about inclusivity and diversity, and just feeling inside myself for the power that she has to help change lives is incredible. So at the minute, that's what's really firing me up, is the potential of what's going to come off the back of that. For another client, so I worked with a psychotherapist back in 2019 and managed to get her like a double page spread in Woman magazine.
Nice.
And I don't tend to tell this story because so many entrepreneurs I speak to are like, oh, I want to get in Forbes. And it's like, well, I can't go from Forbes to Woman's Own or Woman and expect to get the same reaction. But, she had a double page spread. They used her picture on the front cover. They had like a promo on the front cover. And her mum was so excited because she was in like Woman, and just, I don't think there's one particular, I get a buzz every time clients get coverage, it doesn't matter if it's in the local news. It doesn't matter if it's, a massive kind of 5 million viewers kind of website. It's almost, what's going to make the most impact for you and your business to move the needle? So if it's being in Woman, let's go for it. If it's being in Red magazine, let's go for it. If it's being interviewed on a podcast. So it's difficult for me to say what I've loved the most, because I genuinely do love all of it, and I get excited every time like clients get featured.
I want to just touch really quickly on the Forbes trust tag, because it's a great trust tag to have. However, there's a caveat for me. There's a caveat that when it comes, there are lots of people who, you'll see, we're seeing a lot on Clubhouse at the moment, very, very concentrated way. So you've got featured in Forbes, millionaire, influencer, teach you how to do this in 5 days or whatever. Being featured in Forbes is, yes, it is prestigious. Forbes is the biggest global business publication in the world. But for anybody who's like, oh, I haven't got it, and feel like they are less than without it, what have you got to say to those people? I mean, I could say a number of things, and I don't want to poo-poo the Forbes thing too much, like featured in Forbes, because I would like to be featured in Forbes, don't get me wrong. But there are some people who feel less than because they don't have certain trust tags. What would you say to those people, Laura?
I always strip people back to their why, because I've never actually had a client featured in Forbes, because I always come back to, is your ideal client reading Forbes? Like,
right.
Who's reading Forbes? Because what we want...
Other people who've been in Forbes, sorry.
No, this is the thing. Like, I'm quite anti-Forbes. I'm not going to lie. Every conversation I have about Forbes, I'm like, why?
I'm here for it. Yeah, this is it. This is for me. Like, why is it? And also, I don't know if this is widely known, you can pay vast amounts of money to become a Forbes contributor. So if you've got the wedge, there's nothing to say. Just like with Thrive Global, for example, you can apply to become a contributor. I'm a contributor for Thrive Global, which is great because I get lovely articles published and what have you, but I'm doing it. Yeah. And in a similar place with Forbes, you can pay to be a Forbes contributor and therefore be a Forbes contributor and therefore have your articles featured in Forbes, which is brilliant. It's a fantastic trust tag. But what if you can't afford to do that? And what if you don't get the leg in to do it? And like you say, going back to your why do you need the publicity in the first place? The publicity is to spread your message so more people can hear it. And people are becoming wise to those kinds of tags in that kind of way. I don't mean to like piss on anybody's chips when I say that, but I wouldn't angle of your hats or angle of you know, whatever it is on this, you know, this Forbes trust tag. It's brilliant. It is. But what PR is actually going to help you do what it is that you want to do, Laura?
Yeah. This is the thing. I think once you know that you can pay to be a contributor, and again, they get you to jump through hoops. You can't just say, here's my money, let me be a contributor. I think you have to prove that you have quite a big presence in North America, which is where they're based. So I couldn't rock up and say, here's my 10 grand or whatever it is. I'm not entirely sure because I've never looked into it.
Right.
Allow me to be a contributor. That's not the case. But I actually bought a webinar a couple of weeks ago. It was like a $29 webinar, and it was someone who I know has his own kind of publicity agency and helps clients get on stage. And it was a webinar on how to get featured in Forbes. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to pay $29 just to see if there's a formula that I'm missing. And, you know, it was going really well until the last thing was, I pay to be a contributor so I can write about my clients. Like, where's the integrity? Like, they're not then getting in on merit. They're getting in because they know you.
Because they know you and because they can afford you, you know, like, so if somebody is paid to be a contributor, that's brilliant. And then you've got to pay them to be a contributor. And then it becomes a money feed in itself. So then what is actually newsworthy here? What is actually, what is actually worthy of that time? What ideas should we be spreading in that situation? And that's what I find a bit sticky. So don't get me wrong. If somebody wants to quote me in Forbes, like, I'm going to take that and I'm going to say, yes, I'm featured in Forbes. Because, yeah, why not? Why the fuck not? But it's not something that I'm going to be like putting myself over a barrel in order to get. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I just wanted to talk about Forbes very briefly.
Yeah. No, I do exactly the same. And again, if you're going to be featured in Forbes, I'd want the whole bloody article to be on me. I wouldn't want to be quoted alongside like 4 or 5 other business owners, because it just takes the onus away from you and it doesn't make the same level of impact. So, yeah. I mean, Amy's just said her life's been more take a break than Forbes. But the thing is, for you to be in take a break, you're talking to your people.
Talking to the people that you actually want to reach. And and again, so there are huge places for trust tags and PR exercises and all of that, but if you're starting on the shop floor and you're starting like your grassroots in it, you don't need it in order to get to where it is that you're going. Yes, further along, you might want to get that, you want to aim for that, that privilege tag. Yeah, go for it. But if you're in growth, don't hang your hat on those vanity metrics. Go for making an impact. Go for reaching as many people as you possibly can in your ideal publications where you're going to make an impact to your readers. And it's worthwhile remembering that. Laura, tell us about how we can get involved with learning a little bit more about that, because you've got something kicking off today.
I do. So, so I have a 4-day challenge this week. It kicks off tonight. It's going to be every night this week at 8 p.m. UK time. And I am going to be taking you back to basics, because one thing I've realized is everyone thinks they know what PR is, either because they've tried it themselves, they've heard that their mate's doing it, they see it on Facebook. But along the way, we've kind of forgotten what it actually is and how it can work. So I'm stripping it back to basics. Each night, I'm literally going to be explaining what, why, how, and where. Nice. It's going to be baby steps, because again, I know what comes up for business owners when it comes to being more visible, you know, and like what you do with people want to speak on stage. They want it, but something holds them back from actually being okay and open with it. So the challenge, starts tonight. It's completely free. It's taking place inside my Facebook group. There's going to be prizes because I like to reward fast action takers.
I love a prize.
You've got to love a prize. But yeah, I mean, so if you're curious about PR, I would absolutely love to invite you onto the challenge. It's called the Publicity Launchpad Live Challenge, which is actually a bit of a mouthful when you're saying it out loud. But again,
it looks great though. The Publicity Launchpad Live. Nah, it's good. It works.
Yeah, it does. So basically, it's kind of to help you blast off onto your publicity journey and to really get back to that why, how, where, and what. Because so many people are like, yeah, I need PR, but they don't know what to say. They don't know who to say it to. So it's literally that scratching the surface, taking you back to basics, getting you excited about it, because you know it's a really exciting opportunity. And as you know, you can then leverage your coverage further to open other doors. So for me, it's almost like let's start tonight, get curious, throw your keys in the ring and say, do you know what, I'm here to learn. And by the end of the 4 days, you will know whether or not PR is for you. And it's also worth saying that next Monday there's going to be a celebration party.
Nice.
So anyone who's been through the challenge, will get an hour of time to bask in their glory. The winners of the prizes will be announced. And then, of course, I will kind of be explaining how people can then work with me further once they're excited about, you know, what PR is and what it can do. So I'm excited. It's the first time I've ever done it. You know, I've spent 16 years doing done for you. But equally, you realise, hold on, I've got all this knowledge and I'm being super selfish holding it back and not helping others. So, you know, we all had to start from somewhere. So it's almost like this is my opportunity to give back to those people who are maybe new in business or new to PR. It's just come along and be curious, join in. It's going to be high energy. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be like a quick, like a whistle stop tour of PR and publicity. So I'd like to invite you all in. So I'm just, this is why like, oh my
Look
God.
how excited she is, you lot, right? We need to go get mugs. Look how excited Laura Perkes is. So make sure that you guys go and connect with Laura Perkes. One of the things that I wanted to say, because people might be curious, and I like to share these things, and this is probably one of the biggest values that we have as a community, is when you first got in touch, you was like, Dani, I was worried. Now, and this is for so many of you out there that might be either worried about accessing PR and PR opportunities, or however we look at this. This show is an example of local PR opportunities that you can seize, where you're getting to speak to your ideal people. I remember you sent me a voice note going, Dani, I know you work with Joe Swan at Chocolate PR, and I don't want to tread on any toes, but I really want to come and share what it is that I'm doing. And what I want you to remember, I want everyone to remember, is there is space at the table for all of us. And the more that we link arms together, the stronger that we become. Every single person I have on this show has an incredible potential for impact on the world, has incredible values, wants to link arms with other people. And Laura, I'm so proud to have you on my show this morning. I'm so glad that you got in touch with me. And holler out to all of our PR queens that are in our community. We need you. We need you because there are absolutely fuck tons of us. And we need our army of PR queens leading the way for us. So please do go and get involved with Laura Perkes' challenge this evening, 8 o'clock. Laura, give us your links and we'll make sure we pop them up on the show so that people can click and go and access.
I will do. Thank you. Also, Jojo's asked if she can get it on the replay. Yep. So basically, if you join the group, the challenge will run live every day. They'll also be on the replay. So you'll have time to kind of catch up over the weekend. Again, each session is going to be like 20 minutes. I literally want to come in and out. I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to get you excited. So, yeah, that is absolutely possible.
Amazing. Laura Perkes, the pitch bit. Thank you so much for joining us on the show at Rise Up Show this morning. It won't be the last time we see you. I have got no doubt in my mind whatsoever. Thank you for coming on and sharing all the exciting things you're getting up to. Hope that has given you lots of food for thought this morning. Laura Perkes, everybody.
Thank you.
So that was indeed Laura Perkes. Make sure you go and get involved. There are loads of challenges that are happening all the way across our community over the next couple of weeks. It feels like the right time for it. Don't go getting yourselves overwhelmed. Don't go thinking you've got to do all of them. It's okay. Lots of these spaces, just like Laura was saying, you can go and catch up. You might not need to be there exactly at that time. We're running the Move Be Challenge next week, getting out of your own way, overcoming self-sabotage. You can join during that time or you can watch it on the replays, all going in the Hive. You can access that whenever you're able. But in order to get the prizes, you need to be signed up. So Move Be, get out of the way. You need to make sure you're going to imthequeenbee.co.uk/Move Be Challenge. That is where you need to go in order to get involved in Move Be. To get involved in Laura's, you need to go and check out Laura, and we will pop the links up. Thank you for joining us today. I am joining you tomorrow from my kitchen. We are going to have a Pancake Days special, a veritable cook-along for pancakes. So if you do want to join me for pancakes, do join me tomorrow at 9:30, where we'll be talking about business and tossers. All right, my darlings, have an incredible Monday. Get ready to rip it up. Go sign up for the Move Be Challenge. I'm thequeenbee.co.uk/Move Be Challenge. I will see you on in the Hive. Tell me what you were going to do this week that's going to make you feel like $1 million, that's going to make you feel like you're going to be ripping it up. We'll check in again on Friday. In the meantime, have a cracker. I'll see you later on. Ta-ra.